Chapter 1. You are listening at FameTV.info. Translator. Atlas Studios Editor. Atlas Studios, ft. What are you talking about? We agreed that a child would cost $15,000, and now you're raising the price at the last minute. And you want to fight me too? Hey, wake up. Xiao Tong, don't play dead. You were the one who pulled at me first. I only blocked you and you hit the corner of the table yourself. I won't compensate you if you die. Still in a daze, Xiao Tong heard someone cursing. Someone tried to kick her. She opened her eyes and saw the tattered roof. Shifting her gaze, she saw a middle-aged woman with a mean face. She was dressed gaudily and had thick makeup on. It was obvious that she was not a good person. Xiao Tong was stunned. She wasn't dead, she lived in a post-apocalyptic era and struggled to survive. She leveled up and finally became a young general. However, in the final major battle of the century, her heart was dug out by zombies while she was trying to protect her teammates. Could she have become a zombie 2.0? That's not right. The woman before her clearly did not look like someone from the post-apocalyptic era. How could a woman who grew up in the post-apocalyptic era be so fat and dressed so flamboyantly? Yo, you're not playing dead anymore. The woman said, if you're awake, quickly get up and sign it, $45,000, I'll transfer it to you later. I'm making a loss here. Take a look for yourself. All three of your children are so skinny. Only Qiu Xingyu is better. She can be sold for a good price. Besides, they are already 6 years old. It's not easy to find a buyer. If you weren't recommended by Lin Shan. Humph. Who would want to buy your children? Xiao Tong looked in the direction of her finger.I in the corner. 3 children cowered. 2 boys and a girl. They were said to be 6 years old, but due to malnutrition, the 3 children looked only about 4 years old. They were short and thin, making their eyes look especially big. At this moment, they were huddled together and looked at Xiao Tong fearfully, as if they knew their fate of being sold off. Their eyes were filled with endless fear and uneasiness, and a deeply hidden hatred. 6 Year-old children could harbor such deep hatred. Xiao Tong's back suddenly turned cold. Wait a minute, Xiao Tong, Qiu Xingyu, selling children. When these keywords were combined, Xiao Tong suddenly remembered that before the post-apocalyptic war, she had read an antique 21st century novel on her computer. One of the villains in the book was called Qiu Xingyu. She had 2 villains as her brothers, and the mother of these 3 villains was also called Xiao Tong and had the same name as her. This Xiao Tong was greedy and vicious. She had given birth to triplets but did not remember who the father was. As a single mother, she had no thoughts of improving her situation. Relying on charity grants, she brought her children to live in the slums for 6 years. She would hit and scold her children all day long, and this year, Xiao Tong had hooked up with a scumbag. In order to please the scumbag, she had sold her children and ran off with the money to marry him. Of course, the ending was tragic. Xiao Tong was cheated of all her money by the scumbag who eventually dumped her. Without any skills, Xiao Tong could only return to the slums. However, the days she spent with the scumbag made her a drug addict. To get drugs, she had no choice but to become a sex worker. The 3 children who had been sold off had turned into 3 villains. When they had the ability, they went to look for Xiao Tong and took revenge on her. In the end, Xiao Tong died tragically in the wilderness without even anyone to give her a proper burial. Xiao Tong fell silent. Had she been reborn in the body of this vicious mother with the same name, she had rather enjoyed the storyline when she first read it, but now that it was happening to her, she was not finding it very enjoyable. Fortunately, she had transmigrated before she sold her children. Coupled with the fact that she knew the ending to this story, she might be able to change it. Xiao Tong immediately got up from the ground, dusted herself off and said coldly, sorry, I'm not selling my children anymore. Listen to the full novel at FameTV.info, direct link in the description.